Recently, I've been obsessed with shooting this POV shot, and that's because it is such a fun perspective that can immerse your audience into your shot. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to create the POV shot. I'll talk about what gear you need, my recommended camera settings, and I'll also show you 3 different mounting options. So that way you can get some inspiration for yourself and your next project. Before we get into it, I did want to address that there is another video about this similar topic by Donna Did It, and he does a great job at explaining his process. And in this video, I'm going to explain my process. So first off, let's talk about the gear. You're going to need a small rig magic arm. This is the 9.5-inch version, and this is going to be the main piece that will allow you to attach your camera to an object. Next up is this small rig super clamp, and this will allow you to basically clamp it to objects. I have a Joby Gorilla Pod, but I'll show you why I use it later. I'm also going to be using this small rig top handle that has 1/4-20s all around the side and the top of the handle. Also, it's adjustable, so I can push the top handle all the way to the front and get some extra reach when I need it. Next up, I have a small rig half cage. You're gonna need this because this is gonna give you 1/4-20 mounting options on the side of your camera. And also it gives me a NATO rail to attach my top handle to. And by the way, this video is not sponsored by Small Rig. I purchased all this gear on my own. I'm just a really big fan of their products, and I feel like everything just works together so well. Now for the camera, I'm using my Sony FX3. You can film this POV shot with any camera you have, but what is important is the lens. You're gonna need to use an ultra wide lens because the magic arm only goes so far. And for anybody that's curious about my filter setup, I'm using a Nisi Black Mist 1/8 and also a Freewell 2 to 5 stop variable ND filter. I would definitely recommend if you're shooting in daylight to use an ND filter, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Okay, so that's all the gear that you're going to need. It will be linked in the description below. So if you are interested in supporting the channel, you can purchase from those links and I get a small commission. Now I'm gonna show you some of my camera settings. If your camera has in-body image stabilization, you're gonna want to go into your settings and turn that off. If you have image stabilization turned on, it's gonna try to autocorrect, and then that object's gonna look like it's bouncing around a little bit when it's not. Next up, I'm gonna recommend switching to manual focus. This is because if you have autofocus, there's a chance your camera might hunt between the background and the subject. So I just recommend switching to manual focus, lock your focus manually, and you're good to go. Next up, I'm gonna recommend that you shoot in 24 frames per second. That's typically the cinematic frame rate, and then follow the 180-degree shutter rule. So you're gonna wanna set your shutter speed 2 times your frame rate. So if you're shooting 24 frames per second, you'll want to make sure that your shutter speed is 1/48 of a second. With those settings, your footage will look overexposed. So that's when you're gonna need to put on an ND filter. This is basically like sunglasses for your lens. And I have the Freewell 2 to 5 stop and 6 to 9 stop variable ND filters. The first mounting option is gonna be camera to camera. Basically, this is when I mount my FX3 to another camera, and it's really cool because it gives me like this cool POV of basically what I'm shooting. So the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is attach my small rig top handle. And for this case, I'm going to make sure that my top handle is pushed all the way forward. Next up, I'm going to get the small rig magic arm, and I'm just gonna unscrew it a little bit, and I'm gonna screw it on the 1/4-20 towards the end. And as you can see, the magic arm is super flexible. And once it's loose, you can move it around. When you tighten it up, basically this is going to lock everything in place. With your fingers, you can only tighten the screw so much. So what I'm gonna recommend, you don't have to overdo it, but tighten up your magic arm and twist it to the right. Now you'll feel that the screw is tight and in place. This is really important because if you're using heavier objects, this screw can just come loose. Then your object's just gonna be swinging around. Don't overdo it because you could strip it. Just do it tight enough that it feels pretty firm. Now this is actually where the tripod comes into place. I'm just using a Joby Gorilla Pod, but realistically you can use any tripod. My camera is gonna be upside down for a second. You might be wondering, why don't you just mount the magic arm to the bottom instead of the top handle? That's because the top handle, it's gonna give me a little bit of extra reach. I use my Bronica ETRSI, and because it's a larger camera, basically if I mounted it to the bottom, it would probably be like right there at the lens, but because I'm mounting it to the top handle, I'm giving myself 1 to 2 inches of extra clearance. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to just turn my camera on. Okay, so now I'm recording on my Sony FX3. As you can see, there's like a little 1/4-20 on the other end. What I'm gonna do is get it and attach it to the 1/4-20 on the bottom of this camera. Now I'm gonna tighten the magic arm. You'll definitely need to make sure the magic arm is tight because this is a heavy camera. And now you can just go around, pretend like you're shooting, give yourself some motion so that way you can see the background moving, and you're good to go. And one more tip, The small rig magic arm is pretty strong. As you can see, it's holding 2 cameras, but I wouldn't just be one-handing it all over the place. I would definitely recommend holding it with 2 hands. That way you're just preventing yourself from breaking one camera or the other. Mounting option 2 is camera to object. For this one, you're gonna need the small rig magic arm, and you're also going to need the small rig super clamp. This is really cool because you can pretty much open up your super clamp, and whatever object that will fit in the clamp, you can just put it in and you have a really cool little shot. In my case today, I have a roll of film that I'll show you with. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do, get your small rig magic arm and mount it to the side of the cage. And now once you have the camera mounted, again, you're just gonna want to tighten it up, and then you can twist till you feel it stop. You're going to get your magic clamp, and you're gonna attach it to the other end of the magic arm. Now that I got my super clamp attached, I'm gonna get my roll of film, and you're not gonna wanna mount your object directly in the center like this, because as you can see the whole clamp, and it kind of takes away from the magic. So I'm just gonna mount it to the very end in the bottom of the film. I'm gonna frame up. Okay, that looks pretty solid. Gonna tighten up the magic arm. And there's one more thing. You can pretty much kind of see this magic arm right here. So what you're gonna do is use your hand pretty much to block it. You can pretend you're holding your roll of film. And now you can do this with any object you like. And mounting option 3 is camera to phone. The way I did it was super DIY, and if anything, this is just a testament to how creative you can get with the magic arm POV shot. So what I did is grab my phone and this little MagSafe wallet case thing, flip it out so the magnet is facing outward, and I taped it to the screen of my phone. Then I attached a small rig magic arm to the side of my camera, and I got a Moment MagSafe Pro tripod mount, and I attached that to the other end of the magic arm, then connected the back of my phone to the tripod mount. And this was my first attempt at the POV shot. It wasn't perfect, but I'm really happy how it turned out. So that is how you create a POV shot. I just wanna say huge thank you for watching. If there is any filmmaking or photography videos you wanna see on this channel, whether that be gear reviews, tutorials, or any type of video, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one.